You look, the message is the same. Choose yourself, be yourself, don't settle, know your worth. Never accept less than you deserve. If they wanted to, they would. The right person will feel easy. It's on every podcast, every reel, every coffee mug. And it sounds like wisdom. It sounds like self-respect. And it sounds like exactly what a generation of people who lost themselves in bad relationships needs to hear. Everyone's telling you to choose yourself. No one is telling you that the self you're actually protecting is the one that no one is able to reach. I'm Katerina Samuelson, and this is my channel where I share real coaching insights and psychological perspectives that actually change how you show up in your relationship. And if that's something that you need, subscribe, hit like, and let's get into it. So here's the thing, the slogan is not wrong, but it's half right. And half right is the most dangerous wrong because you can't argue with the half that's true. Be yourself, yes, obviously. Don't accept cruelty, don't contempt dishonesty, yes, absolutely. There are people who genuinely need to hear choose yourself because they've spent their whole lives dissolving into other people, abandoning their own needs, disappearing to keep someone else comfortable. For them, the message is medicine. But here's what happened. We took a message that was a medicine for some people in some situation and we turned it into the message for everyone else. And we applied to everyone all the time with nothing on the other side of the scale. And when you only ever hear the half, it slowly turns into a lie. Be yourself was never the whole sentence. The whole sentence is be yourself while staying close to someone who is also fully themselves. They gave you half and they called it wisdom. Let me give you the framework that changes everything here. It comes from family system psychology. And once you have it, every relationship you ever watched or been in, it suddenly makes sense. There are two ways to fall at being in relationship. No. There are two ways at failing being in relationship. Two, not one. The first way is the one that slogans warns you about. You lose yourself in the other person. You merge, you accommodate everything. You abandon your own needs, your own opinion, your own life. You keep them happy. You disappear, and psychology calls it fusion. And it's real, and it's miserable. And choose yourself is a genuinely correction for it. But here's the second way to fail. That almost nobody is warning you about it. You refuse to be affected by anyone at all. You stay so true to yourself, so protected, so unwilling to bend that no one can ever actually reach you. No one can influence you, and no one matters enough to change you. You keep everyone at arm's length and you call it having standards. Psychology calls it cuts off. Psychology calls it cut off. And here's the part that should stop you cold. And here's the part that should stop you cold. The choose yourself culture doesn't warn you about cutoff. It celebrates it. It dresses cutoff as empowerment and sells it back to you as health. Walking away the second things get hard, knowing your worth, refusing to ever compromise, not settling, keeping everyone at distance so you never get hurt. Protecting your peace, being unwilling to let anyone affect you, being unapologetically yourself. It's cut off, all of it. Just wearing better handling. It's cut off, all of it. Just wearing better brand. There are two ways to fail. There are two ways to fail at love. Losing yourself in someone, that's fusion. And refusing to let anyone reach you at all, that's cut off. The slogans warn you about one and celebrate the other. So let's connect this directly to why people can't find anyone. When you've absorbed in choose yourself, don't settle, as a whole operating system, it produces a very specific dating failure. Four of them actually. See if you recognize them. So the first one, you treat normal friction as incompatibility. Here's the truth that nobody's selling. Two real people with two real selves are going to rub against each other. They'll want different things sometimes. They'll annoy each other. They'll have to negotiate, and that friction isn't a red flag. It's the price of two actual human beings in the same room. But the slogan taught you that the right person feels effortless. So the moment the friction shows up, you decide this isn't my person and you leave. And you're not leaving the bad partners. You're leaving the part of every relationship that requires you to grow. Two, you've confused standard with fortress. There is a real difference. Standards sound like I won't accept contempt, dishonesty, or someone who refuses to grow. A fortress sounds like I won't accept anyone who isn't already a flawless match for the finished, non-negotiable self I've decided I am. Standards keep you safe. A fortress keeps you alone. And the slogan blurred the line between them until you couldn't tell which one you were. Third one, you started treating love itself as a threat. Because here's what loving someone actually requires: letting them affect you, being changed by them, sometimes putting their need ahead of yours. But choose yourself recoded all of that as danger. Being influenced became losing yourself. Compromising became settling. Putting someone first became abandoning yourself. So you keep everyone at a safe distance and you call it boundaries. And the fourth one, and this is the hardest one, you got really, really good at leaving and really bad at staying. Cutoff is easy. Walking away feels powerful. It feels like strength every single time. What's actually hard and what actually builds intimacy is staying in the room, staying yourself, and staying connected through the hard part. The slogans trained you in the easy move and left you completely helpless at the hard one. You're not single because you can't find the right person. You're single because you've made yourself impossible to reach. And you've been calling it self-respect. So if fusion is losing yourself and cutoff is protecting yourself, so hard nobody can reach you, what's the thing is that's in between? It's called differentiation. And the reason nobody is selling it to you because it can't fit on the branding stuff like coffee mug. Differentiation is the capacity to stay fully yourself and stay genuinely connected at the same time, especially when it's hard. It's the both at once that the slogan can't hold. A differentiated person can hold their own position when their partner disagrees, without needing their partner to agree in order to feel okay. That's the self part. And they can stay warm, open, and connected to that partner right in the middle of the disagreement, without withdrawing, without punishing, without threatening to leave. And that's the connection part. The undifferentiated person can only do one. They either cave to keep the peace, or they harden and pull away to protect themselves. They feel closeness and selfhood as a trade-off. More of one always means less of the other. So a differentiated person doesn't feel the trade-off at all because their sense of self doesn't depend on winning an argument or on being agreed with. They can be close without dissolving and separate without disconnecting. And that's the punchline that flips the whole choose yourself message on its head. You don't find the right person by filtering harder. You become a person capable of love by differentiating more. The work was never out there in a better screening. It's in here. A differentiated person can build something real with surprisingly wide range of people because they're not asking anyone to complete them, regulate their emotions, or never challenge them. And an un-person can build a lasting relationship with anyone, no matter how perfect the match looks on paper. Because the moment real friction happens, they'll either dissolve or flee. So all that energy you've been pouring into finding someone who fits the specs, it's aimed in the wrong direction. The spec was never the problem. Your capacity to stay yourself and stay close, that's the whole game. So now I'm not telling you to throw the whole slogan out. I'm telling you to take them back and finish the sentence. Don't settle was supposed to mean don't accept contempt, don't accept dishonesty, don't accept a partner who refuses to grow alongside you. That's true, that's worth protecting. Keep that. But it got twisted into don't accept any human being who is actually inconveniently human. And that version will leave you alone for the rest of your life. Be yourself was supposed to mean bring your real, full self into contact with someone else, real and full self. Let them see you, let them affect you, stay you in any way. Stay you anyway. It got twisted into build a self so armored, so defended, so finished that genuine contact becomes impossible. And then wonder why you feel so alone inside of your own fortress. The fortress isn't full of self. That's the saddest part. People think they're protecting this rich, developed inner self. But the self you only ever defend never actually gets to develop. It just gets harder. The most loudly self-partnered never settle. People are often the ones that least capable of love. Not because they have too much self, but because they mistook a defended self for a developed one. Here's what I want to leave you with. If you keep finding that no one is actually good enough, that everyone has some flaw that makes them not your person, that every connection hits friction and the friction means it's wrong, I want you to consider that the problem might not be the quality of the person you're meeting. It might be that you've been sold half a truth, that you learn to protect a self instead of develop one, that you got expert at living and never learned to stay. The good news, that's the most helpful thing. The good news is that this is the most hopeful thing I could possibly tell you. Because if the problem were out there, if it were really about finding the one perfect person in 8 billion, you'd be at the mercy of luck. But it's not out there, it's in here. And that means it's yours to work. Be yourself, truly. And then do the brave thing that slogan never told you to do. Stay close to someone else who's doing the same. That's not settling. That's the whole point. So I made a workbook to walk you through exactly this, figuring out which way you tend to fail, fusion or cutoff, and how to build the differentiation that actually makes love possible. Link is below, and I'll see you in the next video.